Good evening and thank you for joining us for Mid-Michigan Now at 10. I'm Courtney Bennett. We begin tonight with an update from the Lapeer County Sheriffs. They say they have recovered the body of a missing man. A car slams into a church in Millington and officers say a woman did it on purpose. The Tuscola County Sheriff's Office says a 56-year-old woman from Millington drove into St. Paul Lutheran Church and school last night around 10. New overnight, a 42-year-old man police have identified as Larney Boyd died after police say he was shot in Saginaw. Officers were dispatched to the scene on South Charles Street where they found Boyd just before 10:30 last night. Saginaw and Michigan State Police brought witnesses to the police department for questioning. Police say the victim's cousin is being lodged in the Saginaw County Jail. Investigators are expected to meet with the prosecutor's office and bring murder charges. Police say right now they are still investigating the shooting. Now, according to Saginaw Police, this is the 15th homicide of the year. This morning, we're learning new developments on the deadly Walled Lake shooting, where a man killed his wife, dog, and shot at one of his daughters several times. Good evening. We begin with severe weather happening right now in northern Michigan. A tornado has touched down in Gaylord, and it is causing severe damage. Here's some pictures sent to us by Angela Russ. You can see trailers reduced to rubble, some of them flipped over. We're also seeing damage to structures in that area. You can see part of the roof was ripped off this building. State police are reporting trees and power lines are blocking roads in that area, and multiple homes and businesses have been damaged. The parents of Justin Schilling have been added to a federal lawsuit against Oxford Community Schools. Schilling was one of 4 students killed after a shooting at Oxford High School on November 30th. Ben Johnson Law is representing Schilling's parents. The lawsuit alleges the district showed gross negligence in handling the accused shooter, Ethan Crumbley. The Michigan Attorney General's office is asking a special prosecutor to investigate whether a Republican candidate for state attorney general and others should be charged in connection with an effort to gain access to voting machines after the 2020 election. On Friday, Chief Deputy Attorney General Christina Grassi sent this letter to Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson requesting a special prosecutor bring charges against 9 people. They include Republican Attorney General candidate Matthew DePerno, Berry County Sheriff Dar Leaf, and Representative Dare Rendon of Lake City, to name a few. According to the letter, those involved convinced local clerks to hand over voting tabulators, breaking into them and performing tests. The 9 are not named in this letter, but could potentially face criminal charges over allegedly illegally accessing voting equipment, which is a felony. Michigan State Police have been involved in the investigation for months and have previously sieged voting machines as part of the investigation. Pulled from the foundation at a Chase Bank, another ATM has been stolen. Saginaw Township Police say they are investigating this ATM theft. According to police, this happened at the Bay Road Chase Bank around 2:30 this morning. Police say they found an ATM left in the parking lot, still attached to chains in the trailer hitch of a stolen truck. According to police, no cash was stolen from the ATM. Nearly 100 firearms were stolen from 2 Metro Detroit gun and pawn shops. This happened over the weekend in Dearborn Heights and in Westland. According to police, thieves broke into one store early Sunday and again around midnight Monday. About 50 guns were stolen from that pawn shop. Then early Sunday morning, according to police, a suspect driving a stolen vehicle smashed through the entrance of a gun shop, stealing 50 or more long guns and pistols. Police say at this time, no one has been arrested. Detroit experienced mass shootings that happened within 12 hours of each other. The 2 shootings left 3 dead and 9 injured, some critically injured. Around 10:30 Saturday morning, 5 people were shot at a known drug house on Saratoga Street near Gratiot. 2 people were killed. 12 hours later, Detroit police investigating another mass shooting. This time, 7 people were shot during a dice game on Andover Street near East State Fair. 1 person died and several others were critically injured. Police recovered 20 to 30 shell casings from the scene. The Great Lakes Water Authority, also known as GLEWA, is providing an update on the August 13th break to the 120-inch water main that distributes drinking water to many in mid-Michigan communities. And Greta Van Fleet was set to perform tonight in Flint, but now that concert is canceled. The band posted on social media Friday saying they had to cancel both their Flint show and Ypsilanti show. This was a rescheduled concert from March. Band members became ill and they were forced to reschedule. Now the band is saying they had to cancel tonight's show because of production and logistical issues outside of their control. Just into the newsroom, as expected, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services have given approval for children ages 5 through 11 to get the Pfizer COVID-19 booster shot. This comes after the FDA gave emergency use approval this week, and the CDC also approving this booster shot. The Pfizer vaccine is the only one authorized for children under the age of 18. Children can get a booster 5 months after their 2-dose series is complete.
Mid-Michigan Now's Courtney Bennett is in Holly right now. Courtney, can you tell us what you're seeing there?
Stephanie, I am standing right now at Junction and Saginaw in downtown Holly. Now, I can confirm to you via the Fenton Fire Department that the historic Holly Hotel is on fire. I'm going to back out of the way right here so that my photographer Clifford can get a shot right now. In the background, that is the historic Holly Hotel. I can see in one of the buildings, it does have the moose sign as well. I've been talking to people out here. There's a lot of people gathered in the streets. Just moments ago, we saw Milford Fire Department show up. Groveland Township is out here. Holly Fire Department is out here. They have water coming from several directions on several buildings. Again, we are in downtown Holly right now. There is no exact cause, according to the Fenton Fire Department, as to when this started and the exact start point of this fire. But again, via Fenton Fire Department, we can confirm that the historic Holly Hotel is on fire, and that is behind me right now. As you can see, this is still a very active scene. I talked to a police officer from Holly who actually just arrived to the scene, and he said that he couldn't confirm anything. I've seen him walk around to try to get some details on this. We will be bringing you the latest information on this fire in downtown Holly. The streets are blocked. There's traffic that's increasing. There's a lot of people that are around this downtown area right now. Fire trucks are blocking the main street on Saginaw right here. It is a very crowded scene, but again, it's a very active scene. We can still see water coming from the fire trucks that are around here. A lot of fire departments responding, a lot of firefighters on the ground here. We'll take it back to you, Stephanie. Live right now in downtown Holly, Courtney Bennett, Mid-Michigan Now.
Teachers, this one is for you. Great Harvest Bread Company in Grand Blanc is giving teachers 50% off their total bill, up to $20. The business says they know teachers try to do everything possible for their students, and they wanted to give back to them. All you have to do is show your school ID at checkout. This is their way to show love and support for all teachers do for children. In your mobile minute tonight, a woman opened her front door to find 31 McDonald's cheeseburgers on the front porch. But who was behind that order? Her 2-year-old son. In your mobile minute tonight, the Cincinnati Zoo finally has a name for that baby hippo. It was voted on by zoo staff and also the public, and this morning on the Today Show, they revealed the baby hippo's name is Fritz. Now, this name was between Fritz and Ferguson, but after more than 200,000 votes, Fritz came out on top. Fritz, who has a big sister named Fiona, was born last week and is doing great. He's already over 100 pounds. And as the Cincinnati Zoo's Jenna Wingett tells us, the name Fritz may be more appropriate than you realize.
MDOT says that right now they have about 165 construction projects throughout the state of Michigan. For instance, one of their larger projects in the Bay region is the I-69 construction project. But the reason why inflation isn't impacting the cost of construction is because MDOT bids out years in advance. All this road work comes with a cost, from the paint to the cement to the steel used to build bridges. But as this work is costly, right now it's not increasing the cost to MDOT.
We have a couple of different jobs that are happening along I-69. One of those jobs was bid 2.5 years ago. One was bid 1 year ago.
Once that price is locked in, that is what contractors have to be held accountable for. These projects, years in the making, have helped MDOT stay on budget. But it also helps with other facets of the construction
construction project.
It allows them to get materials on order. It allows them to line up the number of laborers that they're going to need, to identify a proper progress schedule, things like that.
When it seems like orange barrels are everywhere you look, MDOT says keeping to a schedule is crucial. Otherwise, it can be quite frustrating for drivers.
So for a lot of our projects, we might require that they not be working on a north and south route over a weekend, because we know that that really significantly impacts tourism traffic.
MDOT planned for 5 to 10 years in advance. The planning allows them to know what the cost will be. Sometimes, though, it can be challenging to predict. Right now, the cost of inflation is not impacting these projects, but for the future,
we may have to reduce the scope of that project. So, what maybe was going to be 5 miles of construction now becomes 2.5 miles of construction, because we just simply don't have the money in our budget to cover that steep of an increase.
While the cost of inflation isn't directly impacting MDOT right now, they say that the contractors ultimately feel the brunt of these high inflation costs. Reporting in Flint, Courtney Bennett, Mid-Michigan Now. The blast that killed a 3-year-old girl and a 55-year-old woman. Now, almost 300 days later, neighbors on this street have mixed emotions when it comes to finding out what happened.
I don't know. I really can't tell you how I feel right now.
I don't think it should have taken that long.
It gives peace of mind to know what it was.
Michigan State Police Fire Investigation Unit met with Chief Raymond Barton and insurers in Granville to announce their findings. MSP released the details, saying a natural gas leak originated from the home located at 3906 Hogarth Avenue. Due to the extensive damage and resulting explosion, an ignition source could not be identified by investigators and experts. The cause of the explosion is undetermined. Even with the findings reported, some still reeling with the impact of that night.
We'll never forget that night and what happened. You still go back there and think about it.
I was just laying in my bed playing on the computer, and then there was a large explosion and glass was flying all over my room, and I ran out of the house, and I was the first one down here to the house, and it was like a war zone.
Flint says 5 homes were condemned on this street. For Linda Thompson, she's still getting her home back together.
Slowly but surely, our stuff is getting back to normal, but I don't know. I'd like to see more done with that down there, because it's not going to be normal with that like that.
And neighbors on this street say that they hope that the cleanup can begin. Reporting in Flint, Courtney Bennett, Mid-Michigan Now.